Hey guys, Manuj Aggarwal here. I'm so glad to have Steve Sims as my guest today, and I don't even have any words to describe Steve. You just gotta meet him. Just gotta learn a little bit more about him. But just to give you an idea, who Steve Sims is. He comes from a humble background, and he's a wonderful story. He's When he talks, you'll hear his sexy accent, and you'll be able to guess he's from UK. But from humble beginnings, Steve has become the real life wizard, and he is a real life wizard because I've seen his wizardry with my own eyes. um, one of the most well connected people on the planet. He hangs out with people like the Pope. Okay, the Pope. We say, oh, there are 100 billionaires, 200 billionaires, but how many popes are there? And this guy hangs out with him. So without further ado, I want to welcome Steve. He's a dear friend, mentor, and he has taught me so much about life, about business. So I hope I'm able to bring out some of the learnings that I have gotten from Steve and share with you, especially in these times. So welcome, Steve.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it, man. Thanks.
Yeah. So these are strange times. Almost feels like we are in LA. You live in LA, and I'm sure you are very familiar with the Hollywood setup. So this is a real zombie apocalypse. Almost feels like. So what is your take? First of all, where are we going? How do you think this will end? How do you think it will sort of unfold over the next few weeks?
Wow, you're asking for predictions.
No, not predictions, just your general sort of.
All right, so I'll give you these answers. Don't know and don't care.
Yeah.
At this moment in time, we're being presented an opportunity, and there are a million people out there that have decided that it's more appropriate and qualifying for that time to shove their head in the sand and run around panicking like a headless chicken. Yeah. And for those people, knock yourself out. Congratulations, because we're not those. Yeah. Anyone that's listening to this show is focused on themselves. Anyone that's listening to this show wants to be better, wants to be sharper. And a friend of mine said to me the other day, you don't wait until the battle to sit down and sharpen your knives. You sharpen your knives before you get in the fight. What I can guarantee you is that we are a consumption personality, and we've had consumption removed for us, which we've never had before. Fuck the virus, fuck all of that stuff. We've lost the ability to partake in a purchase. Okay, we can only do it online. We're the kind of people that like to go down to a bar, like to go down to a coffee shop, like to go down to a grocery store, like to go shopping for clothing. We can't do any of that. And believe it or not, that's where we're going to see the mass hysteria. It's going to be like Black Friday, Thanksgiving holiday sales, January the 1st. It's going to be like all of the sales wrapped into one the second the lights come back on. And everyone's going to be focused on consumption, going down. Can you imagine what the restaurants are going to be like the first day that we're allowed to go back out to a restaurant? Yeah. Everyone's going to be diving down there. I'm not. But now we're actually faced with a tremendous opportunity, because all of us, including you, we've spoken about this many times. Yeah. We're constantly searching for the next thing. We're constantly searching about how to refine ourselves, make ourselves better, get more clients, make more money, make more impact. Well, what happened a few weeks ago was our feet got stuck in cement, and we got stuck. And all of a sudden, we can't go at 200 miles an hour. But the beauty now is that we can look at where we are and go, do I like this? Now, if you want to think about worlds in metaphors, think about a ship going through the ocean, and it's being constantly battered by the winds and the waves, and it's being pushed in all different directions, and it's constantly adjusting. Just imagine if all of a sudden one day the ocean was flat, the wind stopped, and it could literally park and go, hang on a minute, are we on the right route?
Yeah.
Because at the moment, the first thing I noticed, and I noticed this when I coach, whenever I coach, the first thing I ask my clients is, where are you? And I want to know where they are. And then I ask them, well, where do you want to be? And you'll be amazed at how many times the two answers are not on the same map. So now is a beautiful time for us to be able to go, okay, where am I? how did I do over the last 2 years? Have I got to where I wanted to be? Where is my trajectory? Where do I want to go? What do I need to do now to get myself ready for when the lights come back on?
Awesome. That's great. By the way, your the video feed is slightly blurry, so you may want to check your connection. I just want to make sure that people are able to see your beautiful face.
Wow. Okay, I'm looking strong here. I apologize.
No, it's okay. We can hear you clearly, so that's what matters. So, okay, so that's a very good piece of advice. We need to take stock of where we are, what can we do to prepare ourselves. So, can we dive a little bit deeper? Can you give some examples of what you are doing, how you are preparing yourself for the changes that will come about due to this?
So, yeah, there's been a number of things. One of them, strangely enough, is I bought a Peloton. Okay. I wanted to, I've got all of this time now. I don't want to waste it. So one of the things is I bought a Peloton bike, and I now do 30 to 45 minutes. So the next time you attend a speakeasy, I should be all lean and sexy.
Nice.
Yeah, don't get too excited about that. So I literally, I'm focused more on my fitness. Mm-hmm. We do something that we've nicknamed 40-minute book. So every day, sometimes twice a day, we'll sit down for 40 minutes and we'll read a book. The whole family will just literally sit down in the room, and all four of us, no music, we just delve into a book. And then afterwards, hey, what book are you reading? What did you get out of it? What was the last couple of paragraphs? Did that help you? Did it impact you? And we will discuss the book. We found that not only bonds us, but I've had books on my desk that I've just never got around to reading. Yeah. And I'm gone. And then this is the stupid thing. You think to yourself, I'm never going to read that. So you buy the audio version. You never freaking listen to that either. So the thing is, now I'm actually reading books that I've never read before that I've always wanted to get into. I'm watching videos and learning things that I can do. I actually have focused on cleaning house. Yeah. And I'm looking at everything I've done. Now, if you look at your credit card statement, there's all of these $19, $9, all these little subscription services. Okay. This is the first chance where we can go through and go, well, what the bloody hell is that? Yeah. Do I need that? Does it make me grow? Yes, it does. Great. I'll keep it. And just keep going through. One of the other things I've also done is I've been playing a game. Okay. I contact those people that I have subscription services with. Yeah. And I go, look, we're in tough times. And everyone, oh, yeah, and they all get, how about if I paid you a year in advance for that subscription service? What could I be getting? I'm getting 60% discounts if I pay for a year in advance. So I'm not going to have anything to worry about. And we're talking about $9.99 services that you're now getting for like $40 if you pay a year up front. It's ridiculous. But I've been doing a lot of that. So I'm trying to see where I can get the best deals, where and what works in my life. And if it doesn't assist, aid, grow, or invigorate me or make me smile, it's gone. Yeah. And the one thing I've noticed today is that I've not seen a single person comment about, I can't wait till this is over so I can get my Lamborghini. Yeah. Nobody's mentioning that. They all want to get back into experiences. They all want to. So we're going to see a major boom, just like we did after 9/11. Yeah. A major boom in the experiential economy.
Oh, I see. That's a good insight. And this is the thing which I really want to highlight with Steve. What I have learned is, no matter what situation you are put in, there is always a way out. And rather than just as Steve said, burying your head in the sand and sulking and complaining about the government or what have you, it's time to just calm down and look at what helps you move forward. Because with every crisis, there's an opportunity. So Steve gave some excellent piece of advice, meaning cleaning house, and not cleaning house as in a traditional sense with a vacuum cleaner, but look at your business and see what are the things that were redundant and you don't need them anymore, and you can get rid of them, replace with something better. So Now let's talk about your business and how you see things will shift at a macro level. So you are an excellent speaker. You speak on stages around the globe, and some really exclusive stages where you speak. How do you see that landscape changes as we open up the economy after the virus is handled? And by the way, guys, if you're participating, please drop in your comments, questions. We'll be happy to answer them in real time.
So I think two things are going to happen. We've seen a sudden explosion in virtual. I'm on a mortgage mastermind, and I'm one of the keynotes. So the landscape's changed. I literally just have to walk from the house to here to do I may not even wear pants just for the hell of it. It doesn't matter. But the virtual, we're seeing a lot more virtual speaking engagements. And I've actually got 4 that have been set up. But what's going to happen is a virtual summit is one thing. Being in an environment, it's like the difference between watching a concert on TV and actually being in the concert. Okay. Mm-hmm. 2 things are going to happen. These are my predictions. So you can yell at me in 6 months' time if I get it wrong. And I may care. One is that I think we're going to see an explosion in real events. We're going to see a comeback twofold what it is now, because I think people want to get out. Because if you're watching a video, if you're watching this now and you're thinking, well, that's really good. Okay, that's really helping me. Mm-hmm. If you were in a real environment, in like whether it be in a bar with a bunch of mates, you can converse within each other to find out what you got out of it. And so I find that people are going to want to go to those environments. I also think events are going to become pickier and get rid of the Insta gurus, because we've seen so many Insta gurus pop up where they are experts in this. And I was a monk for 5 minutes, so I can tell you how to steer your life. And I did this and I read 5 books. So listen to me. All of that bullshit, I think we're going to see it change. I think we're going to start seeing people not, ooh, how can you rah-rah my crowd up? But how can you give my crowd something that's going to make them impactful? So I think they're going to become more selective on the speakers they get. Which is good, because let's be serious, the scenery got saturated with too many events. But we're going to see people fine tune who they actually put up on stage in consideration of who the audience is. But I think you're going to see an explosion. I had someone say to me the other day, no, the world's changed for speakers. It's all going virtual. No, it's not, because when you're watching a virtual seminar and you're watching someone and the dog barks or the kids walk into your room, they've lost your attention. When you're in the room, you've got total attention. You don't go to an event just for the speaker. You go for the environment. You go for as you know, you go for the people that you can associate with and that you can grow from them. And as we've always said, some of the best conversations, tips, tricks, habits, whatever, can come from the coffee machine outside of the room. And you're never going to get that at a virtual seminar.
And that's true. I mean, many times most of my learnings have come from casual conversations over a drink with you and people in your network, and many others I have met. So that's absolutely true. Now we have one question here from Nelson. Nelson, who was at our speakeasy. How do you price structure or apply fees for compensation to an experience that is unique and different from the ordinary traditional way of researching travel requests? So I think he's talking about the pricing fee. So for unique experiences.
Right.
Do you have any response to that?
2 answers. 2 answers. One of them is it takes you to book it, and the time it takes you to get the relationship to book it. You see, I spoke to a friend of mine's an attorney, and so I don't have great choice in friends. Sometimes it's off, but I have this attorney friend of mine, and he charges like $1,000 to $1,500 an hour. And I said to him, "How can you charge that amount of money for an hour?" And he said, "Because you're not paying for the hour, you're paying for the 30 years to get to that hour's experience." Now, I can actually text. I look at like, TMZ, or I look at the Grammys, and half the people walking around there, I can text them. I have done in the past. I've texted them and gone, oh, congratulations on getting the award, or what. I've been able to do that. The fact that it took me 2 seconds to text them doesn't make that the value. The value is how long it took me to get the relationship that they will answer that text. So in terms of Nielsen, if you're buying a bunch of tickets, to say a soccer game, that they could go on StubHub, then all you're doing is you're saving them time. So I would say 10 to 12%, 12% if you're including the credit card fee, 10% if you're not. If you've got to do some work and put some energy in and bring your connections in, hell, the rate goes up exponential, 20%, 30%, 60%, because they're not paying for the event. They're paying for the fact that without you, that event wouldn't happen. So you've really got to coordinate up and down. It is a suck it and see game. I know in the early stages, I would look at something. I'd be like, well, I can make a phone call there, so I'll charge you $1,000. And then someone would come to me and go, I can't believe you did that. I've never been able to get in there. And I'm like, damn, following you, I'm charging $10,000 for the same ticket. So it's one of those things you got to suck and see and find out the buy-in point, but find out what your client wants, find out what their hunger is for it. And Nielsen will understand that. When someone wants something, how shallow is this want? If they really want it, they'll pay more money. So find out how hungry they are for the event and how long it's taking you to build up the relationship to get it, and then charge accordingly.
Awesome. And I have another question. How do you grow your audience? If you have the value, how do you attract their attention, an audience to see the show, as it were?
Attracting an audience is easy. And that sounds like something no one wants to hear, but it is dead easy. Solve the problem. And me and you, we've had this conversation before. If you're doing videos, and that's the best way to actually do it now. But if you're doing videos and it's like, look at my Lamborghini, look at me with these bikini, how the hell is that helping anyone? Okay, it's not. And those videos get thousands and thousands and thousands of views. Why? Because we all like looking at sexy cars and we all like looking at sexy women, but we ignore the content of the guy that's speaking. Okay, so it's a vanity metrics. So don't worry about it too much. Find the problem that you solve and do a video on it. If you can do a video on how to do brilliant videos, you're solving someone's problem. If you can do a video on how to make a house look more attractive when you sell it, I've heard people say fresh muffins and coffee makes a house smell homely. I've heard the music you pick, all of these different things. If you can solve a problem in a video and then say, hey, if this helps, share it with others. People will come to people that A, they can relate to, and B, you're providing value. Don't sell, solve, and just populate your videos there. And the easiest way then is to go onto Facebook and boost them to an audience that you think that they would relate to. If you're doing something within the mortgage world, boost it to people in the mortgage industry. If you're doing something on cooking, boost it to home chefs and home cooking channel and other like-minded interests. So first thing is focus on your content.
Or if you're lazy like me and you have famous friends like Steve, you can just sit there and ask the questions and produce your content.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. So, obviously you have done some, I don't even know the depth of experiences you've had in your life. I think you have sort of, taken every bit of the possible experience life can give you and extracted it. So can you share with us some of the unique stories? And I've listened to many of them. I cannot get tired of them, but anything unique that you did, that our audience will like and connect with and get intrigued by in your world?
Wow, God, without being obnoxious, what haven't I done now? I've sent people down to see the wreck of the Titanic on the seabed. I've sent them up into space vessels to the edge of space. I've put people in the White House, and I've put people in the Pentagon. I've put people on stage with our favorite rock stars, and I've had them play drums backstage with Guns N' Roses and learn guitar by ZZ Top. I've closed down museums in Florence for a private dinner party, and then had Andrea Bocelli come in while they're eating their pasta. So I've done some incredible things. I had the client, as you mentioned, that wanted to get married in the Vatican by the Pope. So I've also worked with probably the largest events in the planet, ranging from, the greatest night in music with Naris, the Kentucky Derby, the New York Fashion Week, Sir Elton John's Oscar party, Formula One, Monaco, Polo in Stade. I worked with brands from Piaget, Tiffany, to Lamborghini, and a whole host of others. So I've done a few things, and I've been around a few places. But whenever I get involved in it, my focus is in how I can bring the impact to this environment, and selfishly, what can I get out of this that will grow me? And I want to know what can grow. I ended up, I actually spoke at Harvard twice, which was kind of remarkable. But I found what was really remarkable was talking to the students on why they were there, because you had incredibly intelligent people, and I wanted to know why they had chosen to take 40 minutes out of their day and come to listen to me. And so you got to find out, you got to try and find out how you can grow from each environment, not just take the environment for what it is, but how can it benefit you? And that's what we're in now. We're in a situation now where how can we benefit from this situation? How can we grow from this situation? What's our opportunity? And as I said a while ago, the richest guy on a rainy day is the guy selling the umbrellas. Today, you got to find out where is your opportunity? Where is your umbrellas that you can be selling? What is the problem that you can be solving today?
Yeah, flexibility is key. So, obviously you've had tremendous amount of success. You've been around super successful people. How do you not let it get to your head? How do you stay grounded? And I'll mention your book, which I've learned a lot from that as well. But let's start there. Like, how do you maintain your balance? Even in tough times and good times.
Well, I'm not grounded. I'm awesome. I don't know. Oh, God. It sounds funny to kind of like try and analyze yourself and say, well, I'm grounded because of this. I think, look, I'm an Irish lad from East London. And as an East London boy, as any child, when you get away with an extra scoop of ice cream, or when you get away with an extra piece of chocolate pudding, you kind of feel all cheeky that you got away with it, don't you? I'm that guy that still gets away with shit. I have, and you came to my speakeasy. You've come to a few of my speakeasies. I find it amazing that Tesla will allow me into their factory. I find it amazing that the head of ManyChat, the founder, will teach us how to set up ManyChat on our laptops. I find it amazing that we can have the Kardashian social manager come into my event to teach you how to do social. I'm always amazed at where I am and who I'm with and who comes along to play. And I'm in a constant state of bewilderment that I'm still able to do this. Why would anyone put up with me? Why would anyone return my phone call? So it's not a case. I know I've got impact. I know I can focus in and target in on the potential for both you and for me. But it's not something that I sit there and I go, ooh, lucky me, I'm far better than you. No, it's a case of I did this. Wow. Now I'm going to fine tune my focus on how can I get the best impact from this rather than how can I get 15 more likes on this? I'm not interested in that. I'm interested on where this can lead me to.
So, I mean, that's a key learning that I got from you as well, that the vanity metrics and everything, those are not really good for the long term. And that's what I want to talk about long term. So, I've seen a lot of internet marketers play the short game and, build the funnels and webinars, and we've all done that, but the way that you build your business is very, very different, and here I'll mention your book, Blue Fishing. And there's a story around a person who wants to visit Playboy Mansion, and that story was really impactful for me. So first of all, if you can share the story in summary, and the learning from there is caring about people, learning about their innermost desires, and you have this unique ability to notice that in people. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about the story, and how do you understand people and know them so much better than they know themselves.
I don't think I do. I just open up my ears and eyes. Mm-hmm. The story you're talking about was, we had a client, well, he wasn't a client at the time, but we had this guy contact one of our team, and he wanted to buy 2 tickets to go to Hugh Hefner's Playboy Mansion, to one of his parties. I think it was Midsummer Night. Yeah, it was Midsummer Night's Dream. And back in those days, the tickets were like about $10,000 or $15,000 a ticket. Okay, these were the heydays of the Playboy Mansion and all the Charlie Sheen and all the celebrities turning up, walking around with half-naked women. And this guy wanted a couple of tickets, but there was something off about his tone of voice. And my team, one of my girls, passed it to me and said, look, something's not clicking with this guy. You take the call. Mm-hmm. So I took the call, and I'm like, hey, how you doing? Now, bearing in mind, you got to picture it, first of all, I'm at my desk with a computer, with a pad, with a pen, with all the trappings of a desk. Mm-hmm. And I said to the guy, I said, hey, how you doing? So how can I help you? He said, yeah, I believe you work with the Playboy Mansion. You can get me in. I need 2 tickets to the Playboy Mansion. I said, oh, that's great. I said, let me get a pen and paper. Now, bearing in mind, I'm leaning on a pen and paper. Mm-hmm. So as I pretend as though I'm searching to find a pen and paper, I said to him, so how did you find out about us? And he starts talking, and he's pretty rude, direct, mm-hmm. uneventful, unexcited. For a guy that's about to spend 30 grand plus hotels and flights, this isn't kind of the expectation. Yeah. So I said to him, I said, all right, so I've got a pen now. I said, all I've got to do is grab your card, grab your name. And he's like, yeah, okay. And he's very moody. And I said to him, I said, shit, the pen's broke. I said, sorry, but let me get another pen. He's like, oh, God. All right. And again, he's pretty grumpy, New Yorker. And as I'm, again, pretending to find another pen, I haven't done anything. I haven't moved from my desk once. Mm. I said to him, so did you get over to California once? And he was like, yeah, I do. Oh, whereabouts do you go? I said, I'm just trying to find a pen. So, I'm just trying to get to understand you a bit more. And he's like, well, I said, did you get to LA? Not much. You don't like LA? Not really. Where do you like to go? Oh, I like to go north. And his tone changed slightly. Mm-hmm. So I said, oh, you're about San Francisco? Yeah, a little bit further. Again, his tone changing. He said, I like to get out into Napa. Mm. I said, oh, are you a wine boy? He said, yeah, I am. And again, now I'm starting to feel some kind of passion in the conversation. Mm-hmm. And I said to him, so you got to help me out here. And there's nothing people like more than talking about what they love. Yeah. So you can always start a conversation like this. I said, look, I love whiskey. I don't think I like wine, but what is it about wine that you like? Have you ever tried whiskey? Yeah, I have. Then why is wine what you like, and why Napa? And he lets go. He's like, oh, well, you do this and you do this, and it's got this and the temperature, and Napa's been considered better than France and Italy, and he's off. Mm-hmm. He's now fully. So I'm like, oh, okay. I went, oh, hang on a minute. I got a pen. He went, great. So what's your name? So he gives me the name, and he gives me, so I'm spelling both names. I'm like, so he gave me both names. I didn't even write them down. And I said to him, okay, great. And, oh, shit, the pen's broke again. But let's go back to Napa. And he's like, yeah, well, and his voice elevated again. Okay. So basically what I was doing was I was going in and out of his request, and I was checking the temperature. When he was talking about Napa Valley, an excitable little bunny, high tone, A lot of life in the conversation, very, very visionary, telling me about the colors and the fragrances. I was in it. And then all of a sudden, when I spoke about the Playboy Mansion, dead duck, almost with hatred that he had to go there. And so as I'm hearing about it, a couple of times he mentioned his partner. And I went, okay. So then I said, okay, I've got a pen. I'm ready. I've got everything here. And I said, but let's stop for a second. And he was like, okay. I said, I'm going to ask you a question. I said, and you may answer, you may hang up, whatever is down to you. Are you gay? Silence. He never answered, and then just went, yes. Why is that important? And I said, because it's obvious you're excited about going to Napa Valley and you hate the idea of going to the Playboy Mansion. I'm guessing you're in a testosterone-filled environment at the moment, and I'm kind of guessing a little bit further. You're trying to do this just to throw someone's curve off. In essence, you're going here to impress somebody else, not you. And he just went, I said, right, so this is what we're going to do. Playboy Mansion. And he's like, yeah. I said, you're going to fly into LA on this date because the party's on a Saturday night. You're going to fly in on a Thursday night because you don't want to be tired before you go to the party. He's like, okay. I said, on the Friday, you actually can either drive or we fly you up to Napa. You're going to spend 2 days in Napa. You're going to come back to the same hotel on the Monday. Waiting at the reception are going to be 2 tickets to the Playboy Mansion that you didn't go to, so that when you get back to New York, you can just drop them on the desk and go, sorry, boys, I can't talk about it. What happens there stays there.
Awesome.
And he was over the moon. So this guy actually did that. He had a fantastic weekend in Napa, but went back to throw the idiots off by just putting these 2 ticket stubs down. There were parking passes for the Playboy Mansion because I had understood in his voice that he had no hunger for the goal. And I mentioned this earlier when you asked a question about Nielsen. It was obvious he didn't want to go to the Playboy Mansion. So I just called it out. Now, he could have hung up on me and I would have lost, the commission on a couple of Playboy tickets. But I wanted to find out where this was. And I like to play the game. I like to see if I can dig into people to find out where they actually are, how they will respond, what they really are all about. And I got lucky with these guys, and they were clients for many, many years. In fact, funny enough, they actually wrote a letter and sent it to Genre and Out magazine, which were 2 of the biggest gay magazines at the time. And they both did big articles on me. Wow. So I was featured in 2 of the largest gay magazines in America. It was really cool. I felt very proud about that.
Did you get any proposals?
Well, for marriage? No, I got a lot. We did a lot. Well, we still do a lot of business. And I care about your needs, wants, desires, and the ability to pay. Anything after that, don't give a shit.
Yeah. No, I mean, this ability to just sort of understand the person at a deeper level is unique. I've not seen that. Obviously, I experienced it first time with when I interacted with you. So I mentioned this book, Blue Fishing. Obviously, this is not a sales call, or this is not a pitch or anything. But I just want to highly recommend people to read this book and not just read it, like try to understand it. What Steve is trying to say. It has worked really well for me. I've been able to connect with people I never even thought, would have been possible to even be near them, using the things that Steve has taught me. And it's all there in the book. So I highly, highly recommend you read that. Now, we are running out of time, but Steve, do you have anything else you want to share? I know these are, different times. Any message you want to share with the audience?
Yeah, if I can give the listeners something for free, then it would be to tell them to get into an Entrepreneur's Advantage Facebook group. Keyword being there, free. An Entrepreneur's Advantage by Steve Sims is our private Facebook group. And we often put stuff in there that we're trying. I'll buy a piece of software, I'll write a review on it. I will try a piece of hardware like a new webcam, I'll mention it in there. I'll go on there and I'll do live AMAs. We also do happy hours virtual happy hour that we started last week that we're going to be announcing. And I think we may even be announcing it today or tomorrow when our next happy hour is. But that was really successful as well. So that was.
I will join it this Friday.
It was. Do you know? I thought to myself, who the hell is going to come to a virtual happy hour and just chat with me while I drink and everyone else drinks, and we just tell inappropriate jokes and we laugh, and we ended up with just under 70 people come through it. And I was like, damn, this is kind of weird. So, but a lot of people were like, oh, I missed it, I want to go. So who knows what the numbers will be next time, but we're going to be announcing that. So an entrepreneur's advantage, you just you apply to get in, they approve you, tell them, you know, this weird cat, and we'll probably not let you in. But anyway, you know, it's a good group to be in, but more than anything, stop flapping. I remember, and this may sound a bit silly, and I'll test you all. There's a movie, a famous movie that really changed my young life. And in it, there's a bank robbery scene. And there is the main character taking this other guy, clue here, Johnny Utah, to the bank to come into the robbery. And the main character turns around and says, fear causes hesitation, and hesitation will cause your worst fears to come true. Today, the problem is not the coronavirus. Today, the problem is the idiots buying toilet roll by the tens that are panicking like crazy and emptying the shelves and are flapping like headless chickens. The aftermath, the mayhem, the chaos is from that stupidity, not from the virus, because there's no one out there that doesn't believe that we're going to find a vaccine. There's no one out there that thinks this is going to go into summer. There's no one out there that thinks that we're not going to come out at the back end of this okay. But there's a ton of people out there flapping and panicking now, and trust me, those are the people that are doing the more damage now. Stop being scared. Start being focused.
Awesome. That's great advice. I completely agree. The hysteria is more dangerous than the problem itself. So thank you so much, Steve, for coming. I know you're so busy, but I think it was very, very helpful for people to get some perspective in this tough time from somebody like you who has who has figured it out, who has achieved the level of success that a lot of people aspire for. So thank you so much for being with us and sharing your thoughts. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it, mate. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.